Good evening, Lions fans, and welcome to Truelove's Pizza and Grits Thursday Night Preview, an hour-long discussion of Columbia Lions football from Truelove's Pizza and Grits on Riverside Drive. Now, here are your hosts, Dan James and Eddie Bobo.
Thank you, Bill Jones, and a very pleasant good evening. Welcome to our fourth week of Truelove's Pizza and Grits Thursday Night Preview. We are live from the Lions Den in Truelove's. Coach, 63-28.
Pretty awesome, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We're excited.
I get a text from one of the players on Saturday morning that says, I haven't had that much fun in a long time.
Well, I got a secret for you. The coaches are having a little bit of fun, too.
That's correct. That's definitely correct.
We're having a little fun this year.
And then on Monday, we have a combination of Dixon County junior varsity and freshmen, and we walk away with a 53-28 win.
Yeah, pretty impressive as well. It was a combined game. Dixon County called and said they didn't have enough to field two full, a JV team and a freshman team. So we combined it. We played JV players the first half. We played just about all freshmen the second half, I think, didn't we, Dave? Maybe one or two, but it was pretty much all freshmen the second half. And they performed real well. It was great as a coach to see them get out there for the first time this year and mix it up. Lets us kind of see what we got coming, and that was an exciting game.
Especially since you played nothing but freshmen the second half.
Right. There's a lot of young talent coming.
Yeah,
I tell you, I was impressed with the D-line on the JV and the freshman group. I was impressed with some of the receivers, especially that Roman Woodson.
Yeah,
he showed me something out there.
Yeah, he can catch the ball. He got out there and got after it a couple times. So.
Yeah, and on defense, what I like to see him, he came up there and he went low on the big man, and took him down. And
Roman's not a big guy. If he's going to tackle somebody, he's going to have to get down and get him in the legs.
You don't tackle a big man up high anyway. You take his legs out. He'll go.
We had a few guys learn that last Friday night with that big fullback. They had been used to tackling people up high. They kind of got away with it. Hillwood didn't work quite as well against that big fullback from Dixon County.
No. But anyway, it was great to see all of that. In the JV game, defense player Marlowe, he recovered three fumbles and
had several tackles.
Yeah, and we almost got to see a big man dance on a fumble recovery. A D lineman scooped the ball and he took off.
He was trying.
Which is one thing that Coach Sykes preaches all the time for his D line is scoop and score.
For most of them, yes. There's a couple of them we just tell them to fall in the ball. But most of my defensive linemen this year are athletic enough that we tell them scoop and score. You get a chance, scoop and score, go make a play.
Yeah.
Good deal. Let's go back to Friday night. We come out and we really score twice. Boom, boom. It's 15-0.
Yeah, talk to the offensive coordinator. He's the one that's orchestrating that, and then he and I talked after the game.
Yeah, but you got receivers involved in this too.
Well, Well,
the
great thing about it was we started clicking early, and when we started clicking early, it just carried throughout the game, and obviously the score showed that. But the great thing is you come out first series, you score, then you get defense gets stopped, we come back, we go score again, we're up 15-0. It's great for our guys because once they get some momentum like that, it's hard for our guys to stop that momentum. And once we get that momentum, we're going. And you can see they're having fun. And when momentum's on their side, you got to watch out.
Now we got to explain to some of the Lions fans that 8 of our players did not play the first quarter because of eclipse issue.
Right.
That they decided to skip practice to go see the eclipse.
That's correct. Violation of team rules.
Coach said, you're going to sit out.
And it was great to see the other guys step up and perform the way they did. And that's great whenever you see the next guy step in and we don't miss a beat.
Yeah.
And it's always good.
So then we get, we're up 15 points, and all of a sudden Dixon County comes back.
Mm-hmm. They came back. They tried to get a little bit momentum, but we just put our foot back on the gas pedal and said, we're not going to let y'all back in it. And we just kept our foot on the gas. And then once our defense settled in and they realized we can't tackle this guy high, it was a different game.
Yeah.
And Dixon County saw it. You could tell by their demeanor that they saw it. It was turning bad for them.
Right. By the middle of the third quarter, they'd given up.
Oh, no.
They just said, we're done. We're through. Do what you want. 63-28.
One team's always going to give in at some point.
Yeah.
And, you know, it was a good challenge for our O-line and our D-line to face. They had some size up front.
Yes, they did.
And they fired off the ball a little bit. Mm-hmm. And that quarterback and that fullback wasn't no joke. They were coming at you downhill.
Yeah.
And, you know, it took until mid of the third quarter for Dixon to realize, hey, it don't matter how many times we keep coming at them, they're coming right back at us, and they're going to keep tattooing us, and they're going to keep tackling us. And once that happens, then one side or the other got to give in. And Dixon County gave in mid-third quarter, I think. So.
Go ahead.
What?
I don't know.
No, I was just.
Before we go any further, my sidekick over here tomorrow is his birthday. So. Happy birthday!
Happy
Early birthday!
Hey, I'm not going to sing to you because you would lose listeners on the podcast if I did.
I'm not going to sing either.
But happy birthday, Dan.
Well, thank you. I appreciate
I'm sure you're going to be, 51 or 52 years young.
No. Let's tack about 10 more years onto that.
I know how old you are, Dan. You're the same age I am.
I know. 63 will be tomorrow. But I don't feel 63.
You don't look a day over 62.
Thank you very much. Really, I'm not. But
anyway.
But I'll tell you, I will tell you guys this, and this comes from my heart. Being around these kids and doing what I've done in the press box since 2005 is what makes it all worth it, and it keeps you young, and you keep doing it, and you love what you do. Hey, keep going.
At 61, I wouldn't be out there coaching them the way I do if it didn't help keep me young. Okay?
I know.
I'm twice the age of all these other coaches.
Yeah.
But they keep me young, and they help me out every now and then too. They'll
But like I said, getting old,
pick me up. Yeah.
Getting old ain't for sissies.
It's not.
No. Absolutely not.
But before we get away from Friday, I want to brag on my receivers a little bit.
Brag on.
Not just catching the ball, but the way they run in the open field.
Right.
You know, when we turn a 2-yard pass into a 68-yard touchdown.
Yes.
And even more so than that, what people don't see, because people watch the ball carrier, is the way they're blocking. Mm-hmm. Receivers are blocking downfield. Are we getting a holding call every now and then, or a crack block? Yeah, we are. But we put 63 points on the board last week, fellas.
Well,
they're doing something right.
Explain your mentality on the 63 points scored against the percentage of what you're going to get called on for.
Well, it's going to happen every now and then. It's a point of emphasis for the officials this year. They have different points of emphasis every year, and one of their points of emphasis this year is that we're going to watch out for crack blocks, in the wide receiver blocks, blindside blocks, whatever you want to call them. But we're not going to stop blocking because the speed we've got.
That's right.
You get TJ, Darian, Woodson, Devontae, you get those guys out to the perimeter. They just need one block. They need one block from somebody. And if one of the other receivers will block for them, to the house.
Yep.
So I just want to brag on them a little bit. People see them get a call for holding or for a crack block every now and then. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Just don't worry about it.
I want to brag on the speed that we have this year. I mean, where did that come from? Did you guys find that out in spring practice, or have you been working on it, or?
We've known we've had it. Just a lot of last year, injuries hurt, and we just didn't really get to going as much last year. And then as the offseason hit, we really focused on, strength and speed and agility and just busting their tail in the weight room and everything. And when the spring football hit, we started seeing it starting to blossom. Going into the summer, we just saw it growing and growing. And then when we finally got to put the pads on in camp and go against Antioch, it really just started showing. And I remember as a coaching staff, we were sitting there talking, we were going, we come out of these 2 scrimmages healthy, and we stay healthy, it's how are people going to take our speed off the field? Because we're athletic at just about. I mean, really think about it, we're athletic at any position, even line.
Yeah.
We got some athletic linemen, and it's tough. Me being an offense coordinator, thinking about what a defense coordinator is going to do. Who are you going to take away?
Right.
It's
right. Who are you going to double take?
Yeah. I mean, if you take away T.J. Bailey, you got 2 other guys, you got 3 other guys. Really and truly, any receiver that touches the ball can take it to the house.
Right.
And especially with the way our receivers are blocking, it's just amazing. And I'll bring up one of the things that I told a young man today, Woodson. Devontae Jernigan catches a pass on the right sideline, breaks it open. Austin Woodson's all the way on the left sideline, runs all the way downfield to catch up with him and throw a block for it to spring him even more to score that touchdown. Wow. And, the effort they're giving playing unselfish football right now is really helping this team. And they're enjoying the fact of when their teammate scores, they love it.
Yeah.
They're just loving it. Because they know they'll get their chance.
But let me ask you this, Coach Davis. You wake up in the morning and you go, yeah, this is what we've been needing for a long time. And I'm part of it.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's
got to make you feel good, man.
It's a great feeling. It's a great feeling knowing that once, you wake up, you do we perform the way we perform, and you wake up and it says, man, we're still healthy. We got we're 2-0. We're starting district play this week. Let's go see if we can't stay consistent and keep this train rolling.
Okay, one thing you talked about a while ago, and we're not going to give away any trade secrets or anything because we just don't do that on this show ever, but you guys practiced under what will probably be like game-like conditions yesterday.
Right. Well, it was raining yesterday.
Yeah.
And just because it's rain doesn't mean we don't have practice.
Right.
So it was a good opportunity for us to practice with a wet ball. And I was actually pleased at the way we handled a wet ball. We still threw the ball. Coach Davis is calling offense, and I don't think you changed your play calling much. We might have changed 1 or 2 little things, but we threw the ball, we caught the ball, we ran the ball. We handled a wet ball pretty well, and it was a good dress rehearsal because we're expecting we may have to handle a wet ball tomorrow night. So I was pleased with the way we handled the wet ball yesterday in practice. It was a good drill for us.
You pleased with Darian, of course, with his play?
Oh, yeah. I'm pleased with both of the quarterbacks right now. Right now, I got no complaints out of anybody that steps foot on that field right now because, like I said, we're playing consistent and unselfish football, and we're playing together. We're playing together as one, and
right.
We keep that going. That's tough to beat.
Yeah, one of the things you saw last Friday night, I don't want to make it sound negative because we did have a few players that set out the first quarter, but I could even see from the press box the kids that were in the game made a good play. The kids that weren't able to play the first quarter were still over there congratulating them and saying, hey, man, great job. That's part of that unselfish play we're talking about.
Right.
They still are for the team, even though they understood the situation at that point. They're all pulling for each other.
Seems they bought in finally to the team concept. That if you play as a team, you just might win a few.
I've always said football's the ultimate team sport.
Yeah.
It really is. It takes all 11 of them pulling towards the same goal to make it work.
Let's go back to the weight room. You're talking about working. I mean, I was out there a couple of times back in the early summer and watching these guys work. You had a certain routine for them to go through.
Right.
And what was the difference? Because this was a topsy-turvy year for football because you guys come out of your old building, you go into a new building, you have to move everything. A lot of things are still not complete where you are now, but you're making the best of what you got. What was the change in attitude as far as getting in the weight room and working hard?
Well, the one thing that our thought process was, don't give them a chance to think about anything. Don't give them a chance to look, oh, we're moving over here. Don't give them any downtime. Let's hit it. Let's hit the ground running. Let's make a difference. The next football season, we got the talent to make it happen. And so we set up a routine and said, you're in here at this time. If you're not dressed and ready, everybody's got up downs. and we started having more and more consequences put on them and make them have to be more responsible. And once they started understanding that if one kid is late, they're all doing up downs. And then they started all pulling towards each other and saying, hey, you have to pull your weight. If not, because I don't want to do any more up downs. And once they started all understanding that everybody on the team is accountable and started holding each other accountable, it started making a difference. And then when they got in the weight room, there was very little time wasted. It was running from one station to the other, lifting, you know, and there at times it got extremely hot because so many guys are in that weight room, and you know they learned and grew up.
The air conditioner can only push so much.
That's right. And when they started growing up and just it went from 2 days a week being consistent to 3 days to 4 days, and then you just started seeing that build. And the good thing is they're starting to see how it carries over, and that's what I'm glad that they're able to see right now.
Coach, if you'll give Maurice that microphone, if you'll take that one, and or you don't have to scoot over and just move the mics, it'll be fine. I got to get Maurice in the shot here, so in the camera shot. Maurice Patton with the Daily Herald, sports editor, and give us an update on Marion. We've seen some Facebook updates, but
put me on the spot, Dan. No, the last I've heard, he's kind of holding steady. I don't know that there's been as much progress as we'd like to have seen, but at least he's kind of leveled off. I don't think he's regressed. So I think that's the good thing right now.
At least he's still smiling every time I see him on Facebook. So.
Oh, I think that's all he does. I mean, he's really seriously. He's keeping a positive outlook throughout this whole thing. I mean, this happened back the first week in May. But he's hanging in there, and I think that's what everybody wants to see. He's fighting, he's battling, and you know, like I said, he's starting to be steady, and he's getting better, but he's getting better slowly, I think. But he is getting better, and that's the important thing.
That is right. All right, let me ask you this: you've seen the 0-10 team of the Columbia Lions last season, and you suffered right along with us when things were not good. All of a sudden, here's a team that is putting up 51.5 points per game in the first two games, that had 49.2 scored against it every game last season. Give us your thoughts. You've seen high school football forever.
You know, what I like about this team right now is the way it's all working together, offense, defense, special teams. You talk about scoring 50-something points a game, but look at how many short fields they've had to work with to this point. I actually told somebody going into the Hillwood game, I thought they were going to score a defensive touchdown. They didn't, but they had a 2-yard drive, they had a 4-yard drive, and they had a 19-yard drive. And the defense didn't get the credit for those points, but I bet they did in film.
Oh, the coaches give credit. We do. The coaches definitely give credit, because that's field position is so much more important than people realize. That when the defense gets you the ball deep in your opponent's territory, or when your kicker kicks it in the end zone and pins the other team, or just your kickoff team runs down and pins them at the 20 or 25-yard line, it's amazing how much freer and looser your defense can play then to make things happen. Field position is sorely underrated, I guess.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you, what I like is, as good as Nante Davis is going to be when he gets back, Jalen Hall is going to get some action out there at defensive end, even once he does get back.
Jalen's played a heck of a couple of games here, and I mean, he really shined against Dixon. You know,
you say really shined after you had 3 sacks against Hillwood.
Well,
I think he had 2 more tackles against Dixon, solo tackles, than he did against Hillwood.
Yeah. Okay. Right. All right. Then. All right. But no, and you know, you knew what Darian Davis was capable of at quarterback. I'm still waiting for Corey Fields and Jazarius Zachary to really have that breakout game. But I think they've thrown the ball better than I expected them to. They've got, you guys have got a bunch of good receivers. And
receivers, coach.
There we go. Yeah, hey. And like I said, Darian's thrown it better. Dane has come in and put some balls on the money and really opened things up. And so that diversity on offense is really going to make you guys dangerous, I think, as the season progresses. That's my dime store opinion, anyway.
No, that's your Mostradamus.
You like that, don't you?
Yeah. I love it. Nostradamus. You seen it in the paper with his hat?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Styling.
I wouldn't text you and told you that if I didn't think it was.
I appreciate it. It's nice to know somebody's looking at it anyway.
Yeah, that's true. Thank you. Well, somebody has to.
Hey, I don't want to go too far without mentioning. I don't know if you've already mentioned it or not. Coach Davis supporting his Tigers over here tonight.
Right.
They open up later on tonight. Is that right?
8 o'clock.
So there you go.
All right. Good deal. You've got all kinds of football this weekend, too.
No, I'm excited.
Great weekend.
Yeah. Especially for Coach Hoth and his Michigan.
Yeah, and I kind of pull for Florida, so he and I are at odds over that one.
It's not good. Florida had suspended 2 more players today.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. One of them starting running back.
Uh-oh.
I don't know if they're going to have enough to play.
All right, Mo, which team do you follow from your heart that you like, that you love? I know you do all of them, but...
You mean college-wise?
Yeah.
Well, I'm an MTSU graduate.
Well, so am I.
And it's getting cooler and cooler to support them.
Yeah.
But I grew up following UT. I had the chance to cover Vanderbilt in another career.
Come on, give me an answer.
I like to see all of our local teams be successful.
Oh, man.
No, seriously.
He's going to run for some political office, isn't he?
No, too many skeletons.
There's a political office calling his name somewhere.
MTSU is first among all equals.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, again.
All right, let's do D1. Because we know MTSU's not D1.
Well, they're D1. They're not. But you're thinking
5.
SEC.
Yeah, Power 5.
Power 5 conference. I'm a UT fan.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. We pinned him down there.
I tell you what.
Took you a while. He squirmed a little.
Like a worm, worm in hot ashes.
This is a former reporter asking a current reporter.
There you go. No, I like UT football. I'm not real fond of UT football fans.
Okay.
I can relate to that.
There you go. You get it if you've been around it long enough. I mean, that we're with you win or tie, that type thing. It gets kind of tough. But I like to see them do well.
Okay. I'll go with that.
All right.
All right. Give me some predictions for high school football this weekend. Mostradamus.
If I do that, then nobody buys the paper tomorrow.
Okay. All right. I get you. We'll leave it.
I do like the Lions to go 3-0, though.
However, we will say this. Pick up your morning copy of the Daily Herald with Mostradamus's predictions tomorrow morning.
There we go.
There you go.
Absolutely.
Yes. That's the Daily Herald.
Predict one upset for me for tomorrow night. That don't stop from selling papers.
No.
Predict one upset for me.
I don't know that it'll necessarily be an upset, but I've really got my eye on that Giles County Pearl Cone game tomorrow night. I think that's going to be a heck of a ball game.
That's an interesting matchup.
It's a very interesting matchup, and it's a region matchup now.
With
both of them going down to 3A, they're in the same region. That's the
that's
Region
unique.
5-3 opener for both of them, and it'll be interesting to see how Pearl Cone responds in a really hostile environment down at the Brickyard. But if they can keep their composure, I think they've got more athleticism across the field than Giles County does. I've seen the quarterback back us once. I saw him last year against Marshall County, which may not be the best team to have seen him against. But I think that's going to be a heck of a game. I picked Pearl Cone to win that one, but I wouldn't be surprised at all if it goes the other way.
Interesting. I'd like to play Giles County again this year.
I'm sorry?
I'd like to play Giles County again this year, just to show them a thing or two.
You got to keep an eye on OC down there.
I know. But anyway, that's just my personal opinion.
I got you.
You know, that and $1 will get you a large sweet tea at
I know how that
local
goes.
restaurant. Anyway. Well, thank you, Mo, for coming on. Appreciate
thank you for having me, man.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it.
Anytime. And we got we will give a cheap plug for All the Ball Sports Show. Starts back up this coming Tuesday.
Okay.
We will have Rick Saxby, who is the golf pro at Stony Brook Golf Course. He's going to come on and talk sports with us, and Jason Holt's going to be on with us later in the hour. So we start that back up on September 5th.
That's awesome.
Yep. So
look forward to that.
Go to YouTube and go to All the Ball Sports Show, and that's where we are. So anyway, we'll get you back on that show too.
That'll work.
We'll make you a regular.
Look forward to it.
Yeah, we have pizza every Tuesday night from Truelove. They're our
That's
sponsor.
tough to turn down.
It is. Thanking Missy Todd for kind of running things for us. She came in. Yeah, you are. Yes, you are. Yeah. Thank you anyway.
She coordinates a whole bunch of stuff that people don't see.
Yeah, she coordinates a whole bunch of stuff. Matter of fact, she has done an excellent job with our 2017 cheerleaders this year. And the first pep rally that we had at Columbia Central was awesome. And she had it all planned out with the band. And it was incredible. So thank you. So round of applause for Missy Todd. Thank you very much. A small smattering of applause. But thank you so much for what you do. She does a lot for us. Well, guys, we got tomorrow night. We got maybe a wet ground to deal with. So
I think it's more than a maybe. It'll be wet ground. We're hoping that the stuff falling from the sky may have moved by then, but it's still going to be a wet track. Right. There's no question.
Who does it play in favor of, us or them?
I'm always going to say us.
From what you've seen.
I'm just going to say us.
Okay.
Because a lot of people say, wet turf will slow the speed down, but that's okay. Guess what? It slows them down as well. So it's really not changing much. So, and they're not a ground and pound team. They're not power I or I formation, which that would help them if they were going in a situation like this. But they're shotgun, spread it out a little bit.
But we can be if we need to.
Oh yeah.
Well, they threw
we have a power back.
They threw it 12 times, I think, down at Lawrence County the other night.
Yeah, they didn't throw it a whole lot. Now, their starting quarterback got hurt, and they brought a freshman in.
Okay.
And so, they may have intended to throw a little more than that. Starting quarterback got hurt early second quarter, Dan?
Yeah, early second.
And so the young man that they brought in was a freshman. He ran the ball really well. And he may be able to throw, maybe. We honestly don't know because we didn't get to see that much from him. I don't think that was part of the coach's game plan to get his starting quarterback hurt in the second quarter of the first game of the season. Right?
There you go. So who do y'all expect to see?
Well, number 11, who was the freshman.
Okay.
We expect to see him. And then
number 18.
And then number 18.
So the kid that got hurt, he's...
What I heard was it was a torn ACL.
Oh.
And so he's out for the season if that's the case. That was what I heard. I don't have that on great authority, though. So.
All right. It's good to have Jason Hoth here tonight.
Yes.
It is.
It is. Coach Hoth.
Thank you, Maurice Patton.
There we're going to slide out and let you slide all the way back here.
We're going to let Jason sit here and talk for a while.
You got the head man himself now.
It is the changing of the guard. And it's a wonderful thing because we've got Coach Hoth on because his son is playing for Whitthorne on Thursday nights. And because of the weather, they canceled postponed tonight's game.
Yeah, they did. They postponed it to Saturday morning at 11 o'clock. So,
oh, really?
Kind of glad, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, glad to have you on, though, man.
I'm glad to be back. It's been a year.
Yes, it has.
Yeah.
Yes, it has.
Yeah.
0-2 or 2-0. Just saying that has got to make you feel good.
It does. I like hearing it. It sounds good to say if we're 2-0 right now. Hopefully tomorrow night we can say we're 3-0. So it's been a fun year so far. Complete 180 from last year, top to bottom, how we're doing everything, how we're going about practice and everything. So it's been a breath of fresh air.
I know we talked to Coach Sykes about the fact that you have simplified the offense and the defense. And that's something we talked about last year after the season was over with, that you were going to go back to try to simplify it. How has that played into the entire dynamics of what you're doing?
I think it's a huge part, defensively. The goal is to run one or two defenses to be able to cover anything we see on a Friday night, whether we see 5 wide receivers or a wing T or a power I. If we can be really good in one or two defenses, then everything else will take care of itself. That way there's always something for our guys to fall back on that they're comfortable running. And simplifying of that, I think the entire defensive staff has done a good job of preparing our guys and coaching our guys up. And it's proved to be successful. In the last 2 games, we've pretty much stayed in one defense. We've shown a couple other fronts here and there, but for the most part, we've stayed in our 1 or 2 fronts and have had some success. So I think it's made our players able to play fast, which is something that we have a lot of this year. We have a lot of speed, so they've been able to play faster when we simplify things.
The one thing that I have seen from the coaching staff this year, talking to Coach Davis and Coach Sykes and the other coaches, is you guys' level of confidence is much better than it's been in quite some time.
I think so. I think
y'all are, it's one of those things. Bring it on. Just bring it. Let's do it.
Yeah, we are. I think, we feel good when we meet on Sunday about what our offensive and defensive game plan is. I know me and Coach Taylor, we sit there and we talk about all the different possibilities or different scenarios we might see. And we try to get all that hashed out on Sunday, so when we prepare Monday through Thursday, we feel good about going into Friday. We feel we're prepared in all 3 phases, which is, I think, definitely an improvement from last season. So I'm excited. I got a good staff, and they do a lot of. They work hard. They work their butt off, and they've done a good job this past few weeks of getting them ready to play.
Man, we talked about our team speed and everything, and the old adage is speed kills, and so far it's proven true for us.
It has.
We got so many weapons, and we can still pound the ball if we have to. And, of course, now Corey wound up with cramps in both legs Friday night. Had to be toted off the field.
He did.
But I'm just thankful it was cramps and not a severe injury.
Yep.
And then, of course, Mr. Hall got his ankle kind of messed up a little bit, I guess. Coach Sykes says what happened was the Dixon County players' cleats got tangled up in his shoelaces.
So what are the odds of that happening? Yeah, but thank goodness we've gotten out of 2 games pretty much for the most part without having any serious injuries, which is huge. As much platooning on offense and defense that we're doing. Coming out of those games, essentially injury-free has been a huge part of us continuing to move forward in the right direction. So that's been really good.
Right.
So,
and defensively, it is great to see that the defensive line is leading the tackles. This year.
They are.
It's always better for your linemen to lead the team in tackles instead of your free safety.
Definitely. There's no question. You always want you guys in the box being leading in that statistic. And the reason the linemen are leading in tackles right now is because they're doing what they've been taught to do for the most part. They're getting their hands on their offensive linemen. They're doing the best to keep those guys off our linebackers. And a lot of times when you do that, you put yourself in position to make some plays. Right. Obviously, week 1 against Hillwood when that guy, quarterback's running all over the place. It gave our defensive line a good chance to obviously get a lot of tackles that game. And just with the dynamic of the offense we played last week with the triple option, having dive or quarterback responsibilities naturally took them to the ball too. But they've played their butts off.
And once they learned to go low on the tackles on the big guys,
that was a big boy too.
Yeah, it was a big boy. Well, let me ask you this, Coach: who had the key?
Who had the key
to the weapons closet that we needed all this time? Because now we've got, how many you need?
Right. I mean, a lot of
TJ. You got TJ Bailey, Darian Davis, and you got Woodson. If they hit the corners,
right,
they're gone.
And I think a lot of it is just they've got some experience under their belt now. Last year, they were all kind of new to those positions and just had to get a feel for how things work. And also attribute a lot of our success to Coach Davis. He's done a good job of play calling this year, mixing up our inside or outside runs with some pass plays. Good job of spreading the ball around to different guys. We do have a lot of guys. I mean, the first game, I think 5 different guys caught touchdowns. We were trying to get everybody involved. Because I know if I'm a defense and I have to scout our offense, well, there's more than just 1 or 2 guys you got to stop. There's a lot of guys that can be explosive playmakers, and I'm just excited that those guys, when we call their number in a game, they've made the most of it so far, and I hope that continues to be an upward trend for us.
And I like the fact that our receivers are blocking downfield.
Yeah, that's huge.
Giving that extra block frees the guy up.
And that's all it takes. That's what Coach Sykes preached to him. We're gonna block. We've gotten a few holding calls along the way, but I'll take those.
I'll take them
because we have our guys that they are getting their hands on those DBs and they're doing what they can to stay with those blocks. And it has sprung some big plays along the way. So.
Oh, let's ask Coach Taylor how much fun he's having. I had someone text me Saturday that said they had more fun than they've had in a long time playing that game at Dixon County.
Yeah, it's been a fun year. Two weeks in, 2-0. It's been really fun. The Dixon County, obviously, the first half was it was a grind a little bit.
Oh wait, let me back up just for a second.
Okay.
We have to say this again now that Coach Hoth is here. 8 of our players sat out the first quarter because of
violation of team rules,
which was
missing practice
for
the eclipse.
Well, it could have been for whatever reason. I saw the eclipse too, and I was at practice.
Right.
So the discipline worked.
I hope so. I mean, everybody came to practice this week, so that's a good sign.
Okay, good deal. Good deal.
And you never want to be in that situation, but at the same time, we have a precedent, and we're going to stick by that, and we have expectations. So I'm going to stop now. Okay,
I'm sorry. I just had to make a point that the reason the first quarter wasn't as stellar defensively.
But it's not just the winning; it's all of it. It's the kids, the coaches. We're just, I think for the most part, obviously we all talk and we discuss things. It's from an X's and O's standpoint and all that. It's just the coaches. We're on the same page for the most part, and the kids, they trust us and we trust them. And I think a couple weeks ago I called them a wild bunch, but it's a fun. For the most part, it's a good thing. They're wild. They want to have fun. So when they make a play, they get excited for one another. It's a brotherhood, and just to see the offense do well and the defense get excited for them, and the defense do well and the offense gets excited, and just they feed off of each other. All 3 phases of the game really just feed off each other, and just so it's been fun to be on the sideline and being able to chest bump those guys when they come off and all that.
There was a Facebook chest bump that's going to go down in history at some point.
And the funny thing is, this whole chest bump, we all get excited now. This new rule with TSSAA.
Yes.
We're not allowed on the field at all. Even after they kick an extra point, we can't even walk on the field.
Really?
And I'm having to pull this guy and Coach Lockridge and Coach. I'm having to pull them guys off the sideline. See, they're all worried about me, and I said, "You guys ain't gonna worry about me. It's these other guys that you're gonna worry about. They're gonna get me penalized.
We're gonna turn it up a little bit. So I gotta be conscious of that.
Was that the flag the other night in the end zone after we scored?
No, that was another. It was another unsportsmanlike conduct against us. So. That wasn't on me, though. I'll point that out.
We tend to get excited. Everybody does.
And I'm okay with a little excitement here and there. I mean, the flag might have been a little premature, but it was what it was.
Well, we didn't know what it was. We couldn't tell where we were.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, we see that we scored, and there's a flag, and we're like, what? Okay.
Yep.
So be it. Nothing like it was 52-0.
I tell you what, if we ever have a defensive lineman score, I will expect a penalty. And if I don't get one, I'm almost going to be upset if my defensive linemen don't get a dancing celebration. You know, I'll probably step onto the field myself if we score a defensive touchdown.
Because you get the big man dance.
And get a big man dance, you know, that's worth 15 yards.
Exactly.
That's worth
We'll take
it.
that because you got a kicker now that
Coach
can kick
Lockridge
it.
is your big man. Does that dance?
Where is he? Where's Coach Lockridge? Is he here?
I don't think he's here
I don't
tonight.
think he's here yet.
Because Coach Sykes wanted me to ask a question about when he played for Coach Sykes. But I know.
So I'm as excited as he was.
Yeah, Coach Lockridge's getting pretty excited on the sideline a little bit. It's been good to see because I don't think I ever saw him get that excited as a player either.
Yeah.
I think it's different when you're coaching. You're investing all that time and you're teaching somebody and seeing that player, I guess, come into fruition of actually, hey, you did what I told you to do. I think it's just a sense of accomplishment for a coach too.
He had a D lineman get a hold of a block punt and another defensive lineman scoop it up. I mean, he's wanting the touchdown, I think. So
That's right.
Scoop and score.
Really excited. He couldn't contain it.
That was an exciting play. That was good.
Well, it's good to see the coaching staff as excited as they are because it's got to wear off on the players too.
I would hope so. So, I mean, part of our success has got to be, I haven't been made fun of by the staff nearly as much this year as I have in the past. That's got to be have some kind of correlation there. they still get a few shots in here and there.
Maybe they're waiting until the very end and do it all at once.
Hey,
Maybe.
Coach, season ain't over yet.
That's true. I haven't been here the last 2 weeks. So I don't know what they've said behind my back. They could have, they could have been throwing me under the bus. I don't know.
No. Coach Sykes has done an absolutely fantastic job of sitting in as your surrogate.
And I appreciate it.
And we'll tell everybody you can't come back until after Whitthorne's season is over, which will be the end of September.
And as I tell you what, I've really enjoyed watching the middle school ball this
sure.
year. And I've seen some games here and there, but I guess when you have your own son playing, it's a little different. And
all right, let me ask you this: where are you on the field?
I'm not on the field. I'm in the stands.
In the stands.
I'm in the stands, sitting with my family.
Okay.
I'm watching them. I'm doing the best I can to not be a coach during the game.
Not be a fence hanger.
And not even be a coach after the game. I'll tell both my kids. It's funny because, Thursday I'm watching my son. Friday's our game. Saturday I'm watching my other son, my younger, play Little League. And I'll give him, I said, all right, this is my dad response. And all right, we'll say it now. This is my coach response. And I said, we're going to leave it at that. So I'll let them know that, all right, this is going to be the coach side of me talking to you. This is what I think you should improve on, what you need to work on.
What position is he playing?
My oldest son right now is playing tight end and linebacker.
Okay.
He's got 2 catches on the year. They've thrown the ball to him twice. He's got 2 catches, so that's exciting.
Wow.
And then my youngest son's playing offensive line. He plays a guard and is playing a linebacker spot on defense. He's done well this year too. So I'm proud of both of them. They're both here tonight. Of course, they probably can't hear right now. They're eating. So, but they're they'll be up with us for a few years. So
Cool.
So it's going to be like the Vance Ballou situation where you had Eric and Brian.
Maybe, you never know. That might be just different positions. I hope though, because that was a good good duo when they came up.
I don't know.
It was.
I just had a image flash in my head of Coach Hoth sitting in the stand hollering, "Hit somebody!"
I try to be calm and reserved. I try to be.
You remember the old Doug Parker days, bless his heart, when he would sit on the side or stand on the sidelines with Doc Myers, and that's the one thing that Doug Parker would yell. He would yell every single time, "Hit somebody!"
Yeah.
You could hear it come. I could hear it up in the press box. I mean, the window would be open, you'd hear him.
Oh yeah.
Bless his heart. Miss him. He was a great line supporter.
He was.
And a good friend to all of us.
Yep.
And it was a sad day when Doug Parker passed away. It really was. All right, what are we looking at for odds being equal tomorrow night with the weather conditions and the field conditions? What can we expect out of Lincoln County?
Well, I mean, weather's obviously going to be an issue. Hopefully all the thunderstorms and the bad weather's moved on out of the way. Wouldn't be surprised we run into a little bit of rain. Right now, I guess the plan is still kicking off at 7 o'clock. Still going to have a Friday night game. Lincoln County, they had a bye week last week, so they were off. They lost their season opener to Lawrence County. They did lose their starting quarterback in the game to a knee injury. I'm not sure the extent of it, but I know he went down early on in that game. Their offense is kind of similar to ours. They spread it out a little bit, little 4 wide receivers here and there. They, mainly a running football team. They will throw the ball, probably a little more run heavy than they are throwing, but probably I guess with the exception of Hillwood seemed like they were just drop back pass every time. But they'll be a little more balanced, I think, than what we've seen up to this point. Defensively, they're going to be similar to us. Also, they're going to be a 4-man front, like a 4-2-5, probably cover 3. They got a handful of good ball players. I like our matchup against them. I do. I think we have a good game plan going into this, and I've told our guys this too. Our region record right now is 0-0. We haven't won a region. It might be since 2014 maybe that we've won a region game.
Yeah.
So I said we're going in this game as if we haven't won or lost a game right now, and this is the most important game on our schedule. We've got to get a region win, because if the goal is to make the playoffs, well, it's obviously every Friday night, but those region games are even more important.
Right.
So, it'll be a good challenge. And, for whatever reason, Lincoln County's kind of had Columbia's number.
Oh, yeah.
They kind of have. We lost him last year. I don't know what my overall record is just being a coach coaching against them, but I think we've probably lost more than we've beat them. Even 2010.
Right.
We were 4-1 going down there. They were 0-5, and granted, they had played some tough teams up to that point.
Right.
And we took an L against them that year. So we've got to figure out a way to make sure our kids are in good position tomorrow night to be successful. And hopefully we can come away with another win.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and it's always good if you're gonna play them to play them at our house instead of down at the pit.
I know.
It's just something about that atmosphere down there.
Well, I think it's interesting that I think they modeled their stadium
after
after ours.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Right.
Which, hey, I'd do the same thing. We have a great place to play.
Yeah.
But they probably marked theirs off for 120 yards instead of 100 yards like ours was marked off for the first time they laid it out.
Talking about marking off fields, last week we're in Dixon County, and it's the coach's box is 25 to the 25.
Yeah.
Well, ours is only 30 to 30. So I'm looking over, I'm thinking, we got another 5 yards we can walk out there. So it's crazy.
It felt good for them to yell at me like I'm in a 25, and so they were like, "Get back!" I was like, "No, we get to beat you to 25." So it's like, this time I got a little longer to go, so I got the ref's permission and everything. So
we have Bill Marbett and Southern Athletic Fields to thank for marking our stuff off, so they do a great job every time they do it.
Well, I'll tell you what, our field is it's top notch. Every time we have a home game, I love playing home games. I know the field's going to look good. I don't have to worry about having enough side on the sideline. I'm going to have plenty of room, so it's just a great atmosphere.
I can remember a time when the field didn't look so hot.
And the Lion Head logo is back on the field.
Did they get it back on the field?
It's back on the field.
I was excited. Well, I talked to Wayne Lindsay in the first home game, and we had some bad weather before that game started, and I think soccer was on the field, so we're not going to be able to get it on. And so I was maybe next home game. And then with all this bad weather, I'm thinking, I don't know if they're going to be able to get it on this week.
I don't know if everybody can see it, but
that's exciting to hear that it's back on the stadium.
Oh, yeah. She's back on.
Oh, yeah.
Looking good Friday night.
Awesome.
Can't wait.
That's awesome. I'm glad they got it on.
That'll fire the kids up.
Fires me up.
All right. Good deal. So there you go. So it's all back. It's all back out there. Good deal.
Yep.
It's always good to see that.
And Jason Hoth will be our guest in the second half of the All the Ball Sports Show on Tuesday night.
Get there as quick as I can.
I know. But and there'll be pizza and drinks afterwards. So yeah, from Truelove's Pizza and Grits.
Good times.
By the way, thanks to Glenn and Kathy, they are working hard tonight. The folks at People's Table are getting 10% of the proceeds. This is last night for that. Next week, Columbia Band will be here during this period of time, which would be great because we can all mingle together. And they're doing a fundraiser with them on Thursday nights for September.
Oh, good deal. This place is jamming tonight.
I'm telling you, it is.
All right.
A lot of folks out there.
Has Coach Taylor explained to you his T-shirt yet?
No.
You got to give some story behind this.
Stupid juicer.
It's this is just a saying we use. So my shirt is stupid juiced, and it's just it's an expression. It actually comes from a spoken word poem, and it just means I'm very, very excited. I have joy. That's what it means. So we get on the field, we get to practice, we get a game, we get excited because we love this sport. We love going. So it's something we get stupid juiced about. So I got this shirt made. First time I wore it was actually our first scrimmage of the summer. I used it just because I used it back when these kids when I coached them as freshmen, and I used to tell them I'm stupid juiced. So they would always ask me that in turn, Coach, you stupid juiced? Are you ready? And I was, yeah, I'm stupid juiced. So I kind of rock this shirt, every now and then just to, kind of remind them, try to keep the energy up and stay amped a little bit. So we try to fly around and remember that this game, it's a game. So we want to have fun. So we're excited to be able to play it and excited to try to compete and just perform and do the best we can. So we want to have fun. So I use the term stupid juice to kind of keep it light. So, we're serious because we want to win, but it's a game. So we want to be light about it at the same time.
And that's something that we got to remember as fans, that it is a game,
It is.
and it is young men that are playing this game, and they're not getting paid,
right?
And they're going to make mistakes, and we just need to try to chill and not get so hard on them sometimes.
I think that I even have to remind myself. That's kind of what this does for me. Is it serves as a reminder. I know that things got a little tough again in Dixon County. They did a good job. They executed their offense, and we sort of had some struggles there in the first half, and I got a little frustrated, with them. But they were competing, they were trying, and we had to continue to coach them up. But if you get too frustrated, it's really hard to get coached up. And worst case scenario is they just tune you out. So I just talked to them. My bad about getting frustrated, and just go out and compete and do well and try to have a good game. Good game for the rest of the half. And they did that. They had a really good half. One touchdown they gave up in the second half. So I was really pleased with them. So I try to remind myself it's a game. We want to win. That's why we're out here. But it is a game. So
I had a coach who shall remain nameless. He said to me one time, and he was having a bad day, okay? Kids weren't responding to what he wanted to do, and he was trying his best. He says, I cannot believe my entire career is in the hands of 14 to 17-year-olds.
That's a good statement.
I have been in those shoes.
Break you.
That's awesome.
I thought it's crossed my mind before, too.
But it's so much better when you're winning.
And you want to say, I hope my superiors remember that fact.
That's right. Remember that. Well, I hope we can keep this going.
I do too.
I remind this group a lot that I think they're a really special group, and they got potential to do whatever they want to do. It all just depends on how they prepare each week or each day and each week. I feel really good about our staff this year. They've done a really good job. Coach Taylor's been a great addition. Coach Davis continues to improve each year as an offense coordinator. I feel they're doing a good job of putting them in position and teaching them the correct way to play the game. The kids are like a lot of it goes back to simplifying things and stuff, but they're playing fast. They're playing with confidence. Yeah. That's something we haven't done in the past few years, playing fast and playing with confidence. So it's been nice to see that. I hope that continues.
I think for a big part last year, our guys were trying to overthink everything. A lot of times.
No question. No question.
And simplifying it has really showed that it's working.
Well, I hope it continues to work. I really do. We're going to face a point, tomorrow night or whenever. We're going to be in a really tight ball game, and I'm still curious to see how this group is going to respond.
Yeah.
How they're going to respond when adversity is there, and if we're down by 7 or 10 or 14 points, how we're going to respond. This week we worked. All right, it's Wednesday afternoon. We're down by 10. You got 4 minutes. We got to get the ball. We got to score. We got to get the ball back and win the game. So we're trying to simulate some stuff in practice to put ourselves in that position because we haven't been there yet. But that time may come.
Yeah.
And we got to be ready, and hopefully this group will be able to respond when that time comes.
Okay, no excuses, but we go back to the spring when this team really faced adversity on a different level, where you had your locker room, you had your weight room taken down for the new school. You had to move into a new building. Had to move into a building that was built when I was going there back in the turn of the century.
Stone Age.
Stone Age. Back in 1971, it was called the new gym. So that's where you guys
had
are
the
now.
State-of-the-art floor.
Oh, it did. It had a rubberized floor upstairs. Now that's what they call the new gym. But you had to move into that, move your weight room in, move your offices over. Still locker room questionable at this point. No excuses, but you did have some adversity that you had to overcome in order for this team to perform.
We did, and we knew that was coming. Of course, you never know the extent of how things are until they're there.
Right.
Getting the weight room, we got the weight room moved over as quick as we could early January to try to make it as home as quickly as possible because we knew the importance of our offseason. Our winter workout program has got to be better this year. So our focus was let's get the weight room set up first before we do anything. So before we had the coach's office set up, before we had anything set up, the weight room was ready to go. That way we didn't really miss any time in the weight room. We never were like, well, we got 2 or 3 weeks not doing anything. No, if we had to work out on Monday, then we were there on Saturday or Sunday moving stuff over. So we never missed any workout time. The coach's office, we got that stuff moved over to the locker room. It's in progress. It's not where it needs to be yet, but they are. The construction company is working on hopefully finishing up the masonry work tomorrow through Saturday. So hopefully all the block will be finished being laid. So at that point, it'll just be the wood part that needs to be built on top of it. So there is light at the end of the tunnel in the locker room. Now, obviously, from a coach and player's perspective, I want it to be done by tomorrow. But I know in reality that's not going to happen. But hopefully here with the next few weeks, it'll be functional enough to where we can at least go in and use it. And then we can always fix it up more when the season's over. I hate it for my players. They're having to carry their stuff on the buses and then throughout the school. But it's just one of those things that we're having to deal with right now. And it's not easy, but we're going to deal with it and we're gonna move on.
There you go.
Hey, one of the guys that's really helping you on offensive line this year, Russell Wagner, has really stepped up his play this year, and very proud to say. Matter of fact, he's the one that I got the text from Saturday that said, "I'm having fun at this."
Well, good. Well, good.
And I want to ask, you talk about weight room. How's this young man doing in the weight room?
He continues to improve.
Good.
I can say he's improved from his freshman year to his senior year. He's made strides in both his technique and his strength, so it's been good to see.
And he went through a stretch of serious illness with mono.
He did. He's battled a few things in high school.
Just who was you kissing on, boy?
I didn't want Friday's game to end. Just having so much fun out there.
Yeah.
Just great.
It's always fun to win.
Every time we touched the ball, we scored. Really fun game.
Yeah.
It's always good to come off as an offensive line after a touchdown. I think there's a sense of pride that, and I'm speaking, I've never played offensive line in my life, but I think there's a sense of pride when the offensive line comes out after you've moved the ball, whether you threw it for one play or whether you had a 15-play drive. There's always a sense of pride of accomplishment because the offense doesn't run without those 5 guys.
Right.
And I think that's just a good feeling for them. I always want to make it a point to not only high-five the guy who scores, but also go give the lineman praise because they make that machine run.
Well,
so.
we've got some beef up there now.
We do.
Haven't had before.
We do. We got some big old boys up there. It's nice to see some offensive linemen.
Them wide bottoms.
I know. So, I know our guard, center guard, we're good size right there. So it's exciting to see that. And obviously, Russ being one of those.
Who do you have working with you up there on offensive line?
I got Drew right beside me at center, and then Keelan's out there at tackle. I think we work well together as a unit. Got the double teams, getting the blocks, picking up blitzes. I feel like we do that really well first 2 games. Hopefully,
has them simplifying the offensive line made a difference?
Absolutely, because we don't have to worry about all the wide receivers' calls. We can just get our call and go out there and do it.
Very good. Well, y'all are fun to watch now. I'm telling you.
Well, it's good to see team effort and all, and it's showing.
It is. I mean, that's the idea of a team. You know, just out there working together as a unit. When you score a point,
celebrate together.
Touchdown. The way I see it, it's not just one person scored. We scored as a unit,
right.
and you know, it's everybody's worth being congratulated. Everybody's worth getting all the credit because without all 11 guys, it wouldn't happen. The same thing on defense. When you get a stop, you know, one guy might have made that play, but those other 10 guys, they do their job. It's a team effort. So. I like to see that.
Well, Coach, we're not going to have you back until probably the end of September, but it was good to have you tonight. So
it's good to be here tonight.
Yeah. Again, thanking Kathy and Glenn Truelove for sponsoring our little corner of the Lions Den here every Thursday night during the season. And tailgate gets underway 5 o'clock tomorrow. 5:15 will be the Lion Walk. You guys come on over to the stadium and we get you all warmed up and kick off at 7 o'clock for Lincoln County Falcons tomorrow night. Eddie, you got anything else?
No, just go Lions.
Yeah, go. All right, Coach. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, go Lions.
Go Lions.